Hello and welcome to episode 116 of Daryl Show Your Work. So continuing on with the overall theme of post exploitation of a Linux host, I'm going to be in this episode. I'm going to be elevating some user privileges. All right, in post exploitation of a Linux host that I'm going to be finding here. All right. But instead of telling you up front what attack vector or what methodology I'm going to be using to do that, um, we're going to do some digging into that host. Once I get exploitation, once I get access to that host and do some discovering of our own of some potential methods or some attack vectors that I can further exploit to elevate my privileges. All right, so to preface this video with my usual disclaimer, since we are doing post exploitation activities, I'm going to say that this is for research, educational, and ethical purposes only. Any sort of malicious actions that may come from someone directly and indirectly watching my video, I do not take responsibility for, nor do I condone. So up front, I guess to say that I'm not necessarily going to uh, exploit a vulnerability on this machine more so than gain access to it, because again, the purpose of this video is to focus more on the post exploitation phase and the exploitation itself. So with that said, what I'm going to do is let's pretend that I've already conducted some brute force a dictionary attack against this target, and I've already gained some credentials. All right, so we can see here in the center of my screen that we have a username of Jackie and a password. All right. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use a SSH login module to use these credentials to simply log in to those, to our target host. All right. So again, not necessarily exploiting a vulnerability, more so than just gaining access. All right. So first, let's see where where I'm located today, and then after that we're going to see who our target host is. All right, so I'm gonna do an ifconfig. All right, so since I am on the Ethernet 1 interface, my IP address is going to be 192.255.180.2. All right, so let's just copy that. All right, and then I'm gonna also do a fping of my local network here, so I can see who else is up and running. All right, so I'm gonna paste my IP address here and then change that to a 0/24. So basically, I am sending a ICMP pings all the um, all the other machines that are on my local network to see which ones are up and running, and the ones that are up and running are going to give me a response. All right, so as usual, we see that 1, 2, and 3 are up. 1 being our gateway, so I'm gonna leave that alone since I want my internet access. 2 being myself, and 3 being our target host. All right, so with that done, with that bit of discovery done, I am going to jump into the Metasploit framework by first starting up the PostgresQL database, and then I'm going to combine that step with um, starting up the msfconsole to enter into the Metasploit framework. Let's see what happened there. Put an ing there. I don't know why I did that. Okay, there we go. All right, give this a few more seconds. All right. So as always, I'm going to start things off here in Metasploit by creating a workspace for myself. So I'm saying workspace -a, and let's name this Linux Meterpreter exec. All right. Well, escalate. Yeah. All right. Now that I've done that, I'm going to set the target host as a global parameter, so I don't have to keep doing that throughout different modules that I'll be using in the video. So I'm going to paste my IP address here and then simply change that 2 to a 3. All right. That's good to go. All right, and then I'm going to conduct an nmap scan here just to verify that SSH port is indeed open and available for me to conduct the SSH login with the login module here within Metasploit. All right, so let's change that 2 to a 3, and I'm just going to run a service scan on that. And again, as always, the advantage of running nmap within the Metasploit framework is that it saves the output to the Metasploit database, which I can query for at any time. And the more that I do within Metasploit, the more it saves that information into the database, and I can query anything, any sort of details that I enumerate as I go on. All right, that was pretty fast. So we could see that that indeed port 22 is open. So the version, everything, not so important in this video, as again, I'm not going to necessarily be exploiting this server, more or less just using these credentials that I've already discovered to log in and gain access, so I could show what some things that we could do if I were to gain access through an exploitation, what things we could do once we gain access to this Linux system here. All right, so I'm going to search for that SSH login module by saying search SSH underscore login. All right, and so I'm going to use the first one here. All right, so let's use 0. All right, so let's show our options. So all right, and we can see that our host is already set, which is good. So really the only thing it looks like that I'm going to have to set is that username and password, so so I can log in here and get a should throw me directly in the shell. So I'm probably going to have to upgrade to a Meterpreter. We'll see. All right, so I'm going to say set username. And we said that account was Jackie. And we're going to set the password to simply password all lowercase. All right, and it looks like I should be good to go. So let's run that. All right, so let's do sessions. Let's see what we got going on. Good, so I do have that shell. So let's see, I'm going to jump into that session by doing sessions, and then not sure why I did that. Sessions 1. All right, and I'm entering into that to that shell. So just to check that I'm into that shell, let's do a pwd to see what my local directory is here. All right, so we can see that I'm in Jackie's home directory, and let's see if I want to do a bin bash, or have a bash session rather. I would say bin bash -I. All right, so you can see now that I have a actual bash session, and if I want to verify that I am using a Jack account, which we could clearly see that I am, but I could just do a whoami, and we could see that I am indeed the user Jackie. All right, so then to do some further enumeration here, let's see, cat Etsy. And I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but we will be attempting to capture the flag here. All right. So if I wanted to see the exact operating system that's in use that distribution of Linux. All right, I would do cat etc wildcard issue. All right, then we can see that we're running Ubuntu version 18.4.3. All right, and also we can see what the kernel version is. All right, uname dash R, and there's the kernel information there. All right, so I am going to background this because I am going to upgrade to a Meterpreter session here. All right, so I'm just going to do actually just a Control Z. And I'm going to say, yep, I want to background that. All right, and again, in order to upgrade our session here, I'm going to say sessions um, dash U for upgrade and then 1. All right, so this is going to basically open up a second session here, remote session here, but it's going to be a Meterpreter session. All right, so if I do sessions now, we should see 2 of them, which indeed we do. All right, so I'm going to jump into this Meterpreter session by doing sessions 2. All right, now I have my Meterpreter session going. So let's do some more enumeration here. Let's look at this system information. All right. So again, we see that that same information as far as the operating system that's running is running in a 64-bit architecture, and I'm running a 32-bit version of Meterpreter, which should be fine for what it is that I'm looking to do. So no reason to migrate to a 64-bit process. But let's see we could find any more out about this Jackie account to see let's check on the privileges here. So I'm saying get UID. No, it's just simply just tells me Jackie. All right, so I'm going to jump back into shell here. All right, so let's say that I want to see what other user accounts may be on this machine other than Jackie. So I'm going to say cat Etsy. And of course, if I want to do privilege escalation, I want to be able to verify that that the root account is available here. All right, so cat Etsy pet web passwords to verify that, and we can see that at the top, indeed the root account is there, and then we can see also the Jack account here, and all the rest appear to be service accounts. All right, so I want to see I want to see what processes are running, because that may give me again some idea of some sort of method or attack vector that I could take advantage of as far as trying to gain privilege escalation. So let's see what privileges are running. So I'm gonna say ps aux to open up that process tree. All right. So we can see quite a bit of things. So we do see it looks like a cron job here, but did we see an interesting thing right here, bin bash, and we see something called bin check down. All right, so that might be some sort of script. So let's take a look at that and let's see what that is. All right, so in order, um, it looks like it also looks like that the one thing to note is that the root account, so we can see all the processes that I'm running as Jackie, and then we could also see the process that root is running, and root is running this. All right, so if root is running that, and we could somehow switch to having to switch the root account through this process here, that'll be an ideal as far as privilege escalation. So let's see what we could find out about whatever this process is that's running. So I'm gonna say cat, um, then it's called bin check dash down. All right, so let's see what's going on with that. Okay, so it looks like that it's some sort of Linux script. All right, and if we look here, at this particular line. All right, so it looks like that it actually checks for rootkit. So we see a chk like for check it in rootkit. All right, so the thing to know about check rootkit is that it's actually vulnerable to privilege escalation, and it's through an exploit that only targets versions 5.0 and older. All right, so how it works, it will run any executable file named temp update as root and allow for that privilege escalation. So what I need to find out is what version of check rootkit this is running. All right, and then to see if I can find a module that specifically exploits that 5.0 or older version, if that is indeed running this variation of check rootkit. But some maybe watch this is wondering what exactly is a rootkit that the script is checking for. So what a rootkit is, it's a stealthy collection of malicious software tools that gives attackers a high level, think in terms of administrator root type of access to a system while actively hiding its presence and other malware, and allows for long-term control, data theft, surveillance, or any further attacks by manipulating core operating system functions. So it's a pretty nasty piece of malware that is checking for. All right. So what I want to do is let's go. I'm gonna say check rootkit. Anything that we want to find more information on, we could always type in the name of a process, and then and do dash help and see if we can find anything. All right, so it's giving us different options that we can run with check rootkit. All right, and so the most interesting thing out of all of this is the version information. All right, so this is exactly what I want to find out, because again, I'm coming into this knowing that root check kit has that 5.0 or older um, vulnerability, that if it is running that version or older version of it, that I should be able to escalate my privileges by finding a module within the Metasploit framework that targets those specific versions. All right, so I'm going to say check rootkit, and I'm going to say dash capital V, and let's see if we can find out the version of it that's running on this system. Great. So we can see that it's running .449. All right. So that's a version behind .50. All right. So that lets me know that it should be vulnerable to the vulnerability that I'm talking about. All right. So next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna terminate this channel, and I'm gonna jump back into the MSF console and see if I can find that module that targets this rootkit vulnerability. All right, so I'm gonna say Ctrl C, and that's going to terminate the shell channel. But then I want to background my Meterpreter session because I don't want to end Meterpreter here. All right, so I'm going to say search rootkit. Let's see if we can check rootkit. Excuse me. So I want to be able to see if I can find all related tools, all related modules to check rootkit, and see if I can narrow down to one that's going to help me to escalate my privileges here. All right, so it looks like I actually just found just one, and that is the check rootkit local privilege escalation. All right, so since that is the only module available, I'm going to say use a 0 since it has a module ID of 0. All right, and I'm going to say show options to see what I need to configure within this module. All right, so I can see here that I am going to have to set my local host here to my IP address, and let's see with the L port. Let me check something. I shouldn't have to. If I just do sessions, Okay, good. So it looks like our current Meterpreter session is using port 4433. So 444 can stay the same. Um, if I go up just a little further, okay, so of course I'm going to have to uh, set my session here to session 2 since I wanted to target that Meterpreter session, and within set the set check root here. All right, so we saw that it's actually running in bin check root, so I'm gonna have to change this from user sbin check root to simply bin check root. When we first were looking at that process tree, it was running in bin check root. All right, so quite a few things I actually have to configure here. So actually, I'm actually going to start with setting that check rootkit location. So I'm making sure that I'm aiming at the right directory that this process is running from. All right, so I'm gonna say bin, and it was running in simply check rootkit. All right, and then so I'm gonna set my sessions or my session to 2, since that's the one running the Meterpreter session. All right, and then I'm gonna set my L host to my IP address since that's not already set by default. Looks like by default it's set to my loopback address, which I don't want. All right, so there's my IP address, and we don't have to set the L port since 4444 should work just fine. So let's exploit this, and let's see if I can elevate my privileges. So it looks like it's creating a cron job in order to do that, which is a scheduled task. And look, it's the payload written to temp update. All right. So again, that's how the exploit works. It works by basically reading it runs any executable file named temp update as root. All right. And so that's what this module is exploiting on the back end. It looks like it does it through the means of a cron job. All right, so I have a third Meterpreter session opened up here. So now let's see what's going on with that. All right, so I'm gonna say get UID, and let's see if I'm still Jackie. Nope, now I'm root. All right, so privilege escalation is what's successful. So since I am doing a capture flag, let's see if I can find anything within the home directory of the root user here. I'm say dir. All right, and we do indeed have a flag here. All right, so I am just gonna cat that flag. All right, and there is the flag. And as I always say, flag is could pretty much be anything such as sensitive information or something that I want to delete, modify, or exfiltrate. Use your imaginations, but it's a bit of information um, that our victim does not want us to have, and I was able to capture here in this video. All right, so just to give a high level overview of what I achieved here, I did a simple already prior to the video, already had some user credentials for SSH regarding our target host. So I just did the usual discovery and enumeration of finding that target host. And then once I was able to jump into Metasploit and find that SSH login utility, I just gave it the credentials there, and we got immediate access into the target host. So once we were in there, just did some regular enumeration, did some digging there to see if we could find anything that could help achieve the goal with far as privilege escalation. And so I decided to upgrade my shell session to a Meterpreter session, did a little bit more digging, and entered into that shell session again, and looked at the processes that were running on our target host. And that's where we found that bin check rootkit process running. So I catted that the file associated with that process, and and seen that it was actually a script that was running check rootkit. And so I wanted to see if it was running a vulnerable version of Chkrootkit, which upon doing the check rootkit dash capital V, I was able to enumerate the version of check rootkit, and found that it was indeed running a legacy version of that application, which would then allow me to um, um, exploited. You're finding a module within the Metasploit framework, which I was able to. And again, how that module works, and through the use of a cron job, it basically exploits the fact that check rootkit will run anything that's labeled temp slash update as root, and will escalate the privilege of whatever is associated with that. In this case, it was me, the user. All right, so I ran that, and then indeed, once upon running that exploitation module, I was able to escalate my privileges to root, and then upon doing that, finding our flag here, and if I probably did some more digging, probably able to do a lot more damage on the system as the root account. All right, so that again, that brings us to the end of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, show your work. And until next time, take care of yourself, and God bless.